Welcome. So, I'm a bit of a goof and somehow lost the footage for the intro, and a lot has changed in the area since. So instead, I'll give you a picture and some non-time-lapsed footage. That said, into the video. So first off, thrilled to hear the response over this villager trading / pseudo creative idea. It's awesome. I'm excited. Now, you might notice a bit of a change in scenery. Yeah, check out the view. I'll give you the quick rundown. I've run away from my island for a bit, and today I'm going to be setting up what I'm considering the hub area for this mainland area, which will consist of revamping this here village. Sort of a done before project, so I won't get it too in depth with that, but I think it'll look cool. I figured some building designs and such, and well, we'll be getting into that shortly. In the meantime, let's take another look at some of the terrain we have to work with around here. Also, here's the map of the area. You can see the village here. Some amazing views, huh? Amazing stuff that we'll be able to work with. So if you're wondering how I got this crazy terrain, yes, it is vanilla. I've tweaked slightly the world generation. I'm using custom settings. It's all pretty basic, but if you're interested yourself in some info on how to get this, drop me a message and I'll get you the details. Right, so I'm gonna get started on this area and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Now, while I'm working here, I want to mention that this hub area will be a crucial launching point for the bigger projects around this area. I keep saying area, sorry. As of right now, I don't have a theme building idea for, say something like a kingdom. I'm just going to be building things where and as I think they'll look good. We might get into some actual themed continents and lands in the future. We might also do that with this area, actually, but again, no direct plans to. Of course, I will keep in mind that I don't want things to stick out like a sore thumb. What I mean by theming the area is, what I mean by not theming the area is that you might not see something like a giant, ancient, arid forest merging into some kind of ice wasteland, if those are two areas that happen to build nearby one another. Regardless, should be cool. And that's something we can talk more about when we actually do it. Right now, all it amounts to is just that, talk. Basically, this video is all about digging our feet in and making a mark on these uncharted, well, largely uncharted lands. Plus, we're going to delve a bit more into the villager trading idea. Oh yeah. Now, I am recording all this busy work here, and I will be time-lapsing the progression of this town to its rough completion. I want to add a ton of detail to the area, so we've yet to see when I can get that video out. Still, something to look forward to. So the villagers are hid, safe and sound, down here. The other villagers, they didn't make it. This is the large project that I'm hoping to finish up for episode 10 so that we can move on to something that should be real cool. Let's head up the river here. I've fixed up the map area just a bit. It was feeling really cold, barren, so I made a little campsite and did some really basic fixing up of the terrain. It still feels a bit empty, lonely here though. So for the next bit of the episode, I'm going to be working on this area, really beautifying it. Let's take a quick moment to come back to the signpost conglomeration thing. Here's a crafting bench, armor stand, and then some directions. North, south, east, west. Plus some names. It's still for debate, but I figured something really simple and basic would do the trick for this little village. Drano. You know, like shadow, because mountains, shadow, the valley, Drano. No? Anyways, corruption. What does that mean? Well, it was a river. Let's run up to the map here. It goes pretty straight up into this area here, which is the center map, and where my main base outside of this town will be. The name might hint towards it, but I've got some neat ideas that I'd like to try out. It's not a huge secret, of course, so I will say that it's got something to do with bringing the island to the mainland. And you know how finicky those nether portals can be. Things are always spilling through. By the way, the bigger build I've got planned for the main area, man, I am excited about that. I haven't really seen it done before. I mean, of course, it must have been done before because Minecraft, but I've been searching and can't really find a good example of the build. So that's all I'll say. It should be really cool. Right, into this project. What am I doing? Making a bit of a pathway through this hillside to connect the pathway that'll wrap around this mountain, as well as doing a bit on the path itself. Overall, I'm making the area a little prettier. Some work on the ground, the foliage, and the trees. Work on the river will come later. And, well, We need some immersive interaction, don't we? Yeah, he talks to us. It's a little spammable, but man, I think this is awesome. The quick rundown of how I did this is that I took a command block, renamed it Mushy Watcher in an anvil, and connected a say command to it. Hid the redstone under the ground, connected it to a pressure plate, and now when I walk over it, he talks to me. At least I assume I'm the traveler. Anyways, this might give you a basic idea of some of the really cool things we can do with villagers, and any mob, really. Mushy Watcher here is sort of the watchman for this town. He greets coming travelers as well as screens them, in a way. You might have noticed this thing hanging from here. This is a reef made of a bit of rowan, boxwood, and ivy. Working with what I've got here, so bear with me. The use of it is to ward off evil spirits. You'll see this reef around the town a bit and growing in planters inside some homes. The people of Drano are somewhat superstitious, but can you blame them? When you look at the mountains and are always listening to the echoes that come out of those untraveled passages. Well, back in town here, you can see some of the many passages leading deeper into the mountains, as of yet unexplored. Exciting stuff, huh? You can also see that I've built up some small things. These are sort of like miniature versions of some of the houses. No more than booths, really. My plan for these guys and the 2 spaces within is that they'll be trading booths. I need some basic place to be able to come talk to folks in the village and get set up with anything I might need, or otherwise sell stuff that I've got. I'm talking about custom NPCs. The basic shape and area is all set up, so I'm going to go ahead and spawn these guys in. Unfortunately, we have to be in creative fiddle with command blocks, but it's simple enough to switch from survival to creative and back. So I'll do the first villager here with you. I hop into creative and select the block. Now I've already got the command copied, but what I did is figure the coordinates for that block in there, and I've added that to the command. So that's where our exchange smith here will be summoned. We paste the command, run it, and voila, exchange smith. The rest is just repetition, so I'm going to get all these guys sorted out and I'll be right back with you. Done and done. Woo! So they're all set up. Now let's test them. I managed to trade some string to a Fletcher in the village here for a total of 5 emeralds. And as an aside, a slight balancing I'm deciding to try out is roughly 5 emeralds per stack of material, rather than 1. I might bump it up further even. Anyways, we take our emeralds to the exchange smith and nab our iron nugs. Quick pause for some more asides here. I changed the podzol texture back to default, I changed the iron bits name to iron nugs, and I realized I only need 1 exchange trade for this guy, so I've eliminated the unnecessary ones. We grab those, take them to our dirt smith, say I want some podzol, bam, stack of podzol for 5 iron nugs. And now we know it works too. Of course this area needs loads of work and this podzol will hold nicely with that. So good stuff. Also something to note is just how barren this area looks when you get rid of the trees. No terrain, guys. We'll see how it looks when I get done with it, eh? Anyways, that is all I have got time for today. I'm really excited to show you the town and just really develop this area and the lore surrounding it. All of that great stuff. Speaking of lore and things that might go into the libraries, submissions are still and shall remain open. If you want to get in, drop me a comment. Details on exactly how to do that in the description below. I also want to say thanks to you guys for the awesome interaction you've been having with this series. I know it's yet in its infancy and there's not a ton to go off of here, but I absolutely love hearing from you and replying to all of your comments. Just the interaction has been awesome. Thank you. You guys are half the fun with this thing. Speaking of interaction, if you want to keep up with me, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I've decided to stop posting the actual video updates on my page because if you follow me down there, chances are you don't necessarily need those video updates. Instead, I want to use it as a platform to further interact with people and just post updates about what's going on in Mushy Lands. So yeah, if you're at all about that, hit me up on there. So I'd say this land, by the way, I realized I've been calling it the main land, and I'm not sure if it's really the main land, quote unquote, so hold that thought. I'd say this land is off to a fantastic start. I'm excited to build it up some more, and I'm planning on a big progress shift for episode 10, which, by the way, it might be a longer one. Because of how early we are into the series, I might just be a normal episode as well. Regardless, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good night, day, whatever it is, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a good one.